fire risk across our area has reached critical levels, and there's not exactly a lot of relief on the way. We'll get into it after this. The studio is finally back online, and just in time for me to come up here and say what you don't really want to hear, so I'm just going to say at the top, don't shoot the messenger on what I have to say today. Right now, we will look at records first, and we've kind of been starting here just to give a perspective of the fact that, yes, it has been hotter. 109 across the board here. 2011, 2012 is the period of time there. Yes, our normal is still 97. I look back at this again today. We start dropping off August 16th is when we go to 96, and then it actually starts to kind of tumble more rapidly at that point as you really get into the latter half of the month. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll watch it drop together and hope for cooler temperatures. Not today though. 106, 107 degrees across our area. We could get closer to that 109 point later today, especially as you go further west. Overnight tonight, we're not cooling off much. 80 degrees, 81, 82 across our area. Really, I think these should probably be flipped. We're going to be pretty close around the area, though. So it really won't make too big a difference. And that's why we have the heat advisories down south. And here in our area, those excessive heat warnings, rather, continue. And really, they're going day by day here. This is technically effective, last I saw, through 8 o'clock tonight. Later this afternoon, they will probably extend that to tomorrow, and so on and so forth. I think Sunday at 8 o'clock, we'll see it probably end, and then I think that's replaced by heat advisories, at least for Monday, possibly Tuesday, though. We'll get into that in a moment. Unfortunately, we have to talk about today the situation that, yes, we have drought conditions that continue to deteriorate. Really, the only difference in this map from last week is that the severe drought from Stephenville kind of connecting to that up in Denton. So really, the biggest difference is right west of Cleburne there and west of Meridian. But yeah, I mean, these conditions continue to deteriorate, and we still have this kind of hole right around Corsicana, but I don't want that to lull you into a false sense of security. From Corsicana to Gun Barrel City, it's still very dry out there, and we have higher fire risk today. So the orange is elevated, your critical risk in red here, and any of these areas, especially, I mean, if you're in elevated or critical, either way, you have to be careful. We've already had fires, I believe, in Navarro County, Hill, and Johnson County. I don't think we've had any larger fires in Ellis County yet, but I mean, it's already prevalent across our area, and that's why we have these red flag warnings in place. Again, this is mostly for where the critical risk is, but this doesn't mean that Navarro and Ellis counties don't have a risk as well. The burn bans are active too. This is the burn ban map, and all 4 counties, Dallas County, everywhere. I mean, there's a few counties northwest that may not be included, but all of us need to be following those prohibitions on burning. We look at the water vapor today, and I got something in my throat I just can't get rid of there, but I mean, you look at this and there's just nothing moisture-wise. It is dry out here. Not quite as dry as it is from Hermosillo there to Phoenix, up towards Albuquerque and into southern Colorado there, but it's still dry enough. No clouds for us today, really no relief, no help of any kind. And if you look here, you can see again, the rain is moving around us from Nebraska on into Missouri. They've had some pretty serious flooding over in really along the Red River there, the Mississippi River. Trying to stay on Texas terms here. But you look from St. Louis down towards Nashville, the flooding out here has just been insane. So, I mean, you think about it, we're looking at not record drought conditions, but definitely terrible dry conditions, but from Kansas City to St. Louis down towards Nashville, getting over to Knoxville there, lots of rain. They've had a couple of lines of storms go through Nashville earlier this morning, but really nothing going on. So what we're going to see is the high pressure system is centered in East Texas right now, and the stationary front is just kind of hanging out across Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas over into Tennessee. We will start to see a front move southward, okay? We will be watching that happen early next week. The problem is kind of what I was suspecting, and if you go back and watch a previous segment, probably the last video segment I did, I talk about the fact that the fronts normally move in and then they just kind of stall out and then move northward, and that's exactly what this is going to do. It's going to move southward, probably around Monday, and somewhere between the Red River and I would say probably I-30, if that, it will stall out and might bring some rain Monday night into Tuesday as it just kind of sits here, and then later Tuesday into Wednesday, it will move northward. And by Wednesday, we are back in the mid-100s, so we'll get a quick break, but we're still going to stay on the south side of this front. We'll still be on the warm side. The high pressure system will move away enough to where we could look at temperatures right around 100 degrees, but again, not a whole lot of relief to talk about. So 106, 105 really for the next several days. I mean, to finish out this week, to start next week, and then yes, we do have the possibility of a few showers and thunderstorms late Monday into Tuesday as that front moves into North Texas. Now, don't let this deceive you. I'm not saying that that front is going to move in our area. I don't think it will. I think it stalls out somewhere north of us. But when those fronts do stall out, they do tend to kick off some storms occasionally because you've got meeting air masses there. So hopefully it's far south enough to where we'll get at least somewhat of a share of that. Chances are higher for our northern counties, Ellis and Johnson. Down towards Hill and Navarro, chances are even less. And anything we do see will probably be pretty widely isolated. So not the greatest chance of rain at all, and then we get into Wednesday, yes, we're right back to 105. There are signs of another front trying to move in next weekend, so we'll be looking at Thursday, Friday, Saturday to come up in the forecast the next few days to see what that looks like, but even that, it looks like will again be a front that comes in, stalls out, lifts northward, doesn't do a whole lot for us, so just be prepared. I do still have the dangerous fire risk banner up here, and hey, 10 to 15 mile per hour winds, up to 20 in some cases. It's dangerously dry out there, so we need to be paying attention to that. So stay tuned. I'm going to keep an eye on the forecast. Unfortunately, Monday, Tuesday, it's kind of one of these things. We'll have the better idea what's going to happen when it gets here. It's hard to predict exactly what these things are going to do, but I'll continue to watch that for you and keep you updated as we hope for at least some relief here in north central Texas.